when your GD is just boosting. But what about when it's falling? That's the real test. Alright? That's when you really start to expose people. Because when things are not moving in the direction that you want to go, people start changing up the way that they speak. Right? Instead of saying, how close are you to the next round? Guess what people say? How far are you? Right? Instead of people asking, when's the next time you're gonna do it? You don't even gotta ask. You start asking. You start asking things that you were not asking before. You start working a little harder. Right? You start doing calls. That's when you start doing calls. That's when you start picking up the phone. When your business is not moving in the direction that you want it to go. But the thing is, that's why I said, hey, you know what? My biggest fear is giving people the satisfaction of thinking that I'm not winning. Because when I'm not technically winning numbers-wise, I don't want them to think that I'm trying to get something back that I never had. Or that I had before. I want you to think, hey, you know what? I've been winning this whole entire time. Because even when I'm not, I'm still winning. People are still attracted to me. Because my attitude is consistent. What we all got to understand is like, hey, you know what? I'm a leader. People look up to me. I'm responsible for the way people feel. I'm responsible for the way people speak. I'm responsible for the way people talk. I'm responsible for the way people walk. Because they look up to me. The things that you want to happen in your business or the things that's happening in your business that you don't want it to, you got to understand that it's probably because of you. So when those people aren't plugged in your business, it's probably because you're not. When those people don't have a good attitude or not positive, it's probably because there was a time when you didn't. Right? I want everybody to, duplicate and do all of the things that I do good, but I gotta understand the things that I do bad, they might duplicate that as well. People don't recognize problems until the results are a reflection of it. So, look, I can't recognize my problems and start reacting when my numbers start falling. I can't start doing trainings, getting on calls and plugging in, and then start listening to my mentor because my rank dropped. I got to do that all the time. Because if my numbers do start falling, I don't want to start changing up the way that I've been moving. I don't want to start changing up the way that I've been working. I don't want to start changing up the way that I react. Why? Because guess what? It's going to make it obvious that I'm not in momentum anymore. And that's when it's even harder to get it back. Look, I want it, the hardest thing that people deal with, right? The hardest, probably like the worst thing, right? The worst thing that people deal with is understanding that you're the problem. Everything starts with you. The greatest leader, they take responsibility when things go good, and they take responsibility when things go bad. See, it's easy to be like, hey, you know what? That was me, right? That was somebody hit the next rank, somebody hit a new rank, or it's time for a flyer to drop. You super excited, ready to drop that flyer. But as soon as your business falls, you say, hey, you know what? That's not me. Right? I don't know what's going on. See, the greatest leaders, they take responsibility when things is moving good, right? And they're ready to take responsibility when things is moving bad. What everybody has to understand, like, hey, when things are moving bad, that's just gonna make for a better story. That's gonna make for a better story. Because do y'all want to get to a point where y'all everything that, like, over the course of the next 6 months you just go straight to Chairman 100? No. Would that sound good?
No.
It sounds great. It sounds fantastic. But what are y'all gonna have to talk about?
Word.
Nothing.
Alright? What's gonna be inspiring for the next person?
Word.
What are you gonna be able to teach? The the worst thing, what's worse than not having something is getting it and losing. So if 6 months mean I get to get what I want, but I'm going to lose it the very next 6 months, I don't want it. God put me through the year or 2 years I got to put in to really get to where I want, because that's going to make for a better story. That's going to build a stronger foundation. See, a lot of times people try to find the easy way out. They try to find shortcuts. They try to find like the easier adjustment. And you got to take a step back and say, no, I don't want it. Because guess what? What are you going to tell the next person? People try to find new ways of success. Oh, you know what? I don't think this is for me, right? I don't know if maybe the product doesn't really work. The trades, I don't know, trading, it may be the signal. Let me go do this, that, or the third. Let me, go to this company. Let me go switch to listening to this person. Let me just go do this, that, or the third, aside from me aligning with what I said I was going to do. And the thing is, the moment that you do that, you've created that formula for the next person. So when they ask you, hey, how did you become successful? How did you get to the next level? Right? How did you make $1 million? What you going to tell them? Oh, I switched. That's what I did. Right? I had to find a new product. Right? I had to change everything of what I was doing. I had to go do something totally different from everybody. I had to unplug. So when you tell them that, what do you think they're going to do?
Same thing.
They're going to do the same thing with you. Right? That makes sense? Yeah. See, here's the thing. People's work ethic is conditional. The reason I like Jalen and I admire Jalen is because it's never conditional, right? Even for me, I made a mistake today. I'm human. I made a mistake. Y'all wanna know what my mistake is? I'm in Philly, right? I've been a pescatarian for almost a year. I'm in Philly and I ate a fat ass Philly cheese. And guess what I told myself? I'm like, it's a special occasion. Right? But the reason I like Jalen, I'm easily get along with Jalen. Right? Because he doesn't, it's no such thing as special occasions when you're trying to get to where you want to go. Right? People take certain days or certain special occasions to throw themselves off track of what they said that they were going to do. Or what they said that they were going to stick to. The only special occasion is that today it was a little harder for me to stick to what I said I was going to do. That was the special occasion. So, those days where you feel like, it's a special occasion for me to go out. It's a special occasion for me to not lunch. It's a special occasion for me to take a step back from the phone. That doesn't mean you take a step back. That means you take a step forward. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, the special occasion is that this is a harder occasion than it was before. For me to stick to what I said I was going to do. You got to understand and realize I have to fall in love with the process. I got to fall in love with the process. The last group we spoke to, I was telling them I was watching a video today of Robert Kiyosaki. Right? He said the main mistake that young people make, right, in their journey of becoming successful, they stick to that left side. They choose that left side instead of that right side. Right, which is the employee or the self-employed or, whatever the case may be. Aside from being a business owner or an investor, the reason that they choose it is because they get so stuck up on doing what they love. Right? And so many people say, you gotta fall in love with this. I'm not telling you gotta fall in love with this. I'm telling you gotta fall in love with the process of getting to what you want to do. And if this is a part of the process, I love it just because of that. So, instead of you taking a step back saying, hey, you know what, the reason that I can't get so focused because I want to do what I love. No, in order for you to do what you love, sometimes you got to do what you hate. You got to do what you don't enjoy. But I find enjoyment in doing that because that's going to get me closer to what I really want to do. Mm-hmm. Right? But so many people, right, they get so caught up on the process. You can't let the process punk you out of the progress.
She's
right? I want to progress. Right? I want to progress, so I need a process. You want to get closer to what you love, you want to get closer to what you want to do, well, let me do what I hate. And I'm not going to fall in love with what I hate because I hate it or I don't like it. But I'm going to love it for right now because I know that it's a part of my process of getting to where I really want to go.
Period.
So, look, some of y'all may say, hey, you know what? Forex is not for me. It's not for me either. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. The dream of being a Forex trader?
Wow.
Sheesh.
Network marketer? I didn't even know what that was.
Okay.
Right? I didn't even know what Forex was. 4 years ago, I didn't know. But I wanted to become successful. And what I was asking in the last group, you gotta get in tune with what your why is. Mm-hmm. Like, why are you really doing this? Why? Right? Are you doing it because it may be cool to you? You may have a friend, right? Some of y'all do what y'all do, and I'm not saying anybody specifically, but look, y'all ever read something and felt like somebody was talking about you? Mm-hmm. Like y'all feel like somebody was subbing you? That's a problem. Because if it hurts your feelings or if it makes you feel some type of way, maybe you need to learn from it. Maybe you need to read it again.
Jeez.
Right? Because here's the thing. Some people launch just for the simple fact that they scared of what their mentor gonna think about. They scared to get called out. If you feel some type of way about somebody saying something on Instagram or saying something in the training, that doesn't say anything about them, that says everything about you. Because I want to get to that point where everything that's said is confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. Everything that's being said is like, oh, y'all have been in church and you was like, man, I feel like you're speaking to me. I feel like you know exactly what. Man. When y'all hear these strangers, when y'all hear these people speak, it should hit a little different because damn, I was doing that already. Mm-hmm. Not like, oh, you must have been watching my Instagram. Everything you do gotta be intentional. Don't be posting 10 times a day because you scared of what somebody gonna say that you on the next training about how y'all don't post 10 times a day, y'all don't really want it, and this, that, and the third, and you getting all like offended. No. You gotta be intentional. I'm not thinking 10 times a day. I'm not thinking get on training. I'm not thinking about getting on a call. I'm just doing it because I'm in flow. It's not convenient for me to do it. How would y'all be moving if y'all was 5 people away from the next round?
Woo! Right.
How would y'all feel?
And the hate.
Phones right now.
That hate.
That would feel good. It would be like, damn, like, right, shut the hell up. I'm trying to get to the phone. Right, I got a rank ticket. It's almost Monday.
Facts.
Right? How would y'all feel if y'all was 100 away?
Exactly.
Y'all just saying that because y'all think that's what I want to do. That was a long pause. Like, you should feel the same. You should. Like I was saying to the last man, 2021. Our generation has the most millionaires. It's the most millionaires. That sounds like some pressure. That should feel good. Right? Because answers to it. It's about actually applying it, like David said. It's about actually applying it. So, let me take a step back. I don't want to speak too long. I want to give y'all the opportunity to hear from Ray. I don't know the last time he's been to Philly. But lastly, I just, like I said, I want y'all to get in tune with what your why is. All right? What's your why? Yeah. What's your why? Come on, bro.
So basically, it's like I'm cancer. I want to have my family. So my why is basically similar to Jay. It's just like doing it. Being able to pick like no care and all that stuff. So it's
Right. That's good.
Got chairwoman.
Honestly, like I saw her struggle a lot throughout all these years, and her raising 5 daughters all alone before I stepped out of life. So I really just, not only depend on my mom, but also on my sister. My brother, to be honest. I don't look up to those who, what I went through now.
One more. What's your why? So, I'm going to be honest, a lot of the whys are a lot similar to, not to offend anybody, it's a lot similar to, what I hear a lot. Right? It's a lot similar to what I hear a lot. I know yours is, pretty specific. But, it's always impact-based, right? You want to save lives and, give people, that financial help for them to get access to whatever health benefits and health care they need to stay healthy, right? A lot of y'all said your family, your mom, this, that, or the third. The reason I asked, not saying anybody that has, answered any of the questions, but everybody in this room, whatever your why is, don't just tell me your why based off of what sounds good, right? Because a lot of people gonna say family, right? A lot of people gonna say mom. Who got kids? All right, kids. All right, somebody else, son, daughter, right? All of these things that actually are very, very important, right? But I want to be able to tell that that's your why. I was going to training, and nobody ever asked me this. I was going back and forth, training after training. Like, maybe what was that, a month ago? It was like one day where I did like a bunch of different training, in person and on the phone. Right? He was shooting me. He was recording me. And, he asked me, he was like, bro, you got children? I said, nah, bro, no. He's like, bro, you working like you got children, bro. And I said, well, damn. All right. I don't got kids, but when I do got kids, you might see a whole different beast. Right? So, the thing is, the reason I asked those whys is because I wanted to make sense. You want it to make sense if you're saying you're doing it for your mom. Let me look at you and be like, oh, yeah, she's definitely doing it for her mom. You're doing it for your son, your daughter. It's like, she might have 3 or 4 kids. But if you're telling me that's your why, your family, right? You want to change the world. Your little brother, your little sister, your community, right? You want to have this great impact. I should not be able, it should never be a day where we look at you and say, that must have been a lie.
Sheesh.
Because if you're doing it for your son, you a little boy, you a daughter, right? That don't know no better. right? Your family that's still in the hood. Gotta watch their back every time they step outside. Or you trying to change the world? The world. There is no days off. None. There's no hours off. There's no special occasions. Not until you get to where you want to go. My family's straight. Like, as far as family, I can't even say I'm doing for my family because they good. My wife has to change. Now it's on a bigger aspect. I'm trying to make sure everybody's family's straight, whether they my blood or not. So your wife changes. At first, I'm doing it for the money. Then I start getting a little money, and I'm starting to realize, okay, I'm looking at my family, I'm straight, they not. So now, it's not just me, I got to do this for my family. And then your family's straight. Now you out of tier 2, right? So you get yourself good, now my family good. Now, it's the world. That's where I'm at right now. So you got to understand, like, hey, if right now, you trying to do this for your family, get this.
Sheesh.
Y'all believe in God?
Yeah. Absolutely.
God is within you. So you can't believe in God until you believe in yourself.
That hit. Yo, that hit.
Shout out, David.
Oh my gosh.
What y'all gotta understand, man, look.
Yo.
If I want my family to be straight, if that's my why, right? If that's my why, be real with what your why is right now. Don't say, hey, I want my family to be straight if you're not straight. People talk about, I don't know if this is for me, man. I'm trying to do I'm trying to change the world, change my community. You don't have no money. What type of community are you going to change? Right? That's why I say be real. Let's be 100% transparent. If you don't have at least $10,000 in the bank right now, your family can't be good. It just can't. How? So if you feel like I'm not gonna ask what anybody has, but if you feel like, hey, you know what, Bryce is speaking to me right now. I need every single day you make a commitment to making sure you straight. Making sure you get it. Because what your intentions are, right? What your intentions are is for your family to be straight. So what you got to do right now is the very next step that's going to lead up to that. So look, if you're doing this for your son, you're doing this for your daughter, you're doing this for your family, if that's the truth, right, there is no days off. And if you got it written on your mirror, if that's really what the goal is, it's going to show up. It's enjoyment. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this business, but find enjoyment in getting one step closer to where you really want to be. All right? I'm done, but I want y'all to really take a step back. Don't forget what I said. I know some of y'all took notes. I want y'all to really hone in and, really listen to what Ray has to say. I've said enough. Jalen said enough. First and foremost, I'm sure people like Ray and a lot of people that have come on this journey with me, they're gonna look at you or talk to crowds and be like, oh, I'm so glad. Ray tells me all the time, like, Bryce, if you would have never did this, Bryce, bro, you changed my life. Man, I'm gonna be honest, Ray changed my life. Alright? There's certain people that come along in your life, and I'm gonna be honest, if he wasn't here with me in this business, I would not be here either. Just how you can learn from the top, you can learn from people below as well. People think, oh, because I'm making so, you can't learn from people. No, I learn from upline, downline, whatever the case may be. Because you gotta find what's specific about certain people, right? Because you gotta find certain things that people really, really do well. And I am in no surprise that Ray attracted somebody like that. I'm not. Because some of the same things I said about Jalen, you will find in Ray. Ray, it is no special occasion when it comes to getting where he's trying to go. And you can tell. There is no days off when he is putting in the work to get to where he wants to go. He has goals and certain things that he needs to do, right? Certain things that he wants to do, and he's not going to let anything within this business or in life deter him from that. And that's why when you sit in rooms like this, you got to really hone in and listen to people like this. He's 23 years old. 23. You cannot put an age on wisdom, but a lot of y'all can relate to him. And if y'all look like him, y'all around the same age, a lot of the things that he's done, you can do as well. It's a little different getting the game from somebody you can't relate to. It's a little different. Right? When somebody comes in, a lot of y'all from the same area. Who from Philly or Jersey? Right? A lot of y'all come from the same place. And y'all got somebody that came from the same place as y'all, but find a way to make it out, just so he can come and get a game back. And that's what y'all gotta appreciate. Everybody give a standing ovation for Reynaldo.
Yes, sir! Yeah! Hey, now, Lou.
500, 500, 500. Now, OD, this was gonna hit, son. This was gonna hit.
Everybody close their eyes. Alright. Close your eyes, please don't cheat. Alright. I'm about to really walk you through the truth. Alright? Because a lot of times, you know, it's 2021. Whatever happened last year, whether it was a good year or a bad year, it doesn't necessarily matter because we got to focus on the task at hand. Right? It's 2021, right? And this is going to be the best year of your life. Okay? Now, I'm going to be transparent. Right? Raise your hand if you ever set a New Year's resolution and you bullshit. Right? I'm going to raise my hand too. We've all done it. Right? I've been doing it all my life, all up until 2018. Right? Year in, year out, I said, I'm going to get straight A's. I didn't do it. I'm going to go to the gym every day. I didn't do it. I'm going to be a better, son for my mother. Didn't do it. Right? So as you guys have your eyes closed, I'm going to be real. Right? We are in, what's today's date?
14, 15?
Wow. So we're in the 14th. 15th, right? It's midnight now. It's 12:30. We're in the 15th. So look, I'm going to give you some stats, right? I read this somewhere some years ago, and basically it said, right, that 2 weeks into the new year, right, all it takes is 2 weeks, 14 days. Right? After 14 days, 85% of people either A, stop being consistent with their New Year's resolution, or B, quit entirely. Literally. Right? All it takes is 2 weeks for the majority of the world that said, yo, 2021 is about to be my year to start bullshit. Alright, so you gotta understand that the odds is not in your favor. Right? And this is the reason that most people fail and their New Year's resolution doesn't happen. Right? It's simply because they fail to plan. Right? They don't take it, they write down, their goal, this is where I want to be at the end of the year, but they don't write out the day-to-day, and the one thing that they don't take into account, right? They don't take into account the inconveniences that are going to happen along this journey, right? In a perfect world, yes, you can wake up every day, go to the gym, get your workout in, right? And things will be cool. In a perfect world, you can wake up every day, build your business, and things will be cool. But you have to take into account, like I said, the inconveniences. You have to have room for error, right? There's going to be days where you're not happy. There's going to be days where somebody pisses you off. There's going to be days where things don't go as planned. You got to take that into consideration, all right? Now, a lot of times what happens is people, they lack motivation. And I'm going to be real, like, you got to be self-motivated, right? Okay. If you're relying on an external source to be motivated, right, you're only going to run when you're in a room like this. Right now, you're going to get excited, right? You're going to get happy. You just talked to Bryce Thompson, you serious? Right? You're going to get excited. But guess what? That excitement in 72 hours is going to be gone, right? It's going to be completely gone. Now, how do you stay self-motivated? This is how you do it, right? I want you to picture what the end goal is, right? So by this time next year, well, by the end of the year, right, where are you going to be at? Now here's the thing. When you start the year off, a lot of times people you either set an unrealistic goal or a realistic goal. Listen, if your goal is not unrealistic, you are in the wrong business. Right? Your goal has to be unrealistic. But here's the thing. Here's the difference between you and everybody else, right? The way to make an unrealistic goal real is to have a realistic work ethic. So you can say, oh, great, yes, I'm going to platinum 150 right now. I'm going to P600 right now. But God damn it, I'm going to be a chairman 100 by the end of the year. Everybody else is going to think I'm crazy, and that's fine. But I got to understand what I'm up against. All right? Yeah, I'm a platinum 2000, and right, I want to be where you're at. I want to be a chairman 250. Yes, those aren't normal statistics. Those aren't normal numbers. But damn it, that's where I want to be at. So don't lower your belief, right? Don't lower your desires to match your belief, but raise your belief to match your desires. You said you want to be chairman 100. Let's make it happen. All right, now here's the thing. Right, if that's the goal that you want to hit, you got to understand that this year, you're going to be full of fuck-ups. I want you to understand it. Right, a lot of times people are going to tell you, yeah, this year's going to be sweet. It's not. If you're here, raise your hand if you're trying to have a quantum leap this year. Right? Quantum leap. Everybody say quantum leap.
Quantum leap.
Quantum leap.
Quantum leap.
Everybody say 10x.
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 You want to 10x, guess what? Right? You have to be prepared to fail the most you have ever failed in your life.
That's on God.
And that's the difference. Right? If we're taking it, you gotta say $100,000 a month. So whatever your goal is, probably crazy. Listen, you're taking a 10-year goal and jam-packing it into 1 year. Now here's the thing, you're gonna fail, you're gonna fuck up, you're gonna lose, you're gonna make a lot more mistakes than you would have otherwise, but you're still gonna be a lot further along than if you would have just said, okay, it's gonna take me 10 years to make this happen. That makes sense? Yeah. That's exactly what's happening. This year, you're gonna fail the most, right? You're gonna fuck up the most. And that means you're gonna learn the most. You're gonna grow the most. And you're gonna work the most. That makes sense? Yeah. As you have your eyes closed, you need to picture exactly what you're gonna look like by the end of this year, right? Because when people are asking, Ray, how do you stay self-motivated? I close my fucking eyes. That's all I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to look at no pictures, none of that. I don't need somebody to tell me, Ray, you're doing well. I close my eyes, and what you see right now, the Ray that you see right now, I used to see it back in 2018. I used to tell you, right? The bust down, the ice on the team, the drip, everything, I used to see it back then. You have to envision it, right? You have to paint that picture, right? You have to have a strong and vivid imagination. Because if you can't see it, how do you expect the world to see it? Right? If you can't see it, how are you going to manifest it into real life? Every single thing, right? Every object from that phone that you have in your hand to the pen to the shirt on your body, right? Started off as an idea in somebody's head, and then, came into fruition, became something real. It manifested itself. So that you, right? I want you to picture what type of shoes you got, right? Don't say it out loud, but just think what type of shoes you got. You make it $100,000 a month. What the fuck that look like? You know what I'm saying? What type of shoes you got? What kind of socks you got? What kind of jeans you got? You feel what I'm saying? Me, I got on the Miris right now.
Jeez.
That's just me. That don't gotta be you, that's just me. Right? Walk me through exactly what you wearing, right? What'd you eat this morning? Right? I'm pretty sure you're not eating cereal on on that type of budget. I'm pretty sure, right? You're not warming up no leftovers from the day before on $100,000 a month budget. Right? So I want you to really picture that, right? The conversation you have with your mom, I'm pretty sure you're not arguing with your mother, right? And if you are, right, it's a different type of argument, right? It's mom already sent you $5,000. Right? I want you to really envision that. Think about the car that you want. Be specific. Right? I don't want you to tell me, Ray, I want to be in a Mercedes. What type of Mercedes? Right? Are you in an S550? Right? Black exterior with the mocha inside. Is that you? Right? Or you in the G63?
G63 my
Matt
bad.
Gray on the outside, red guts. You know what I'm saying? Digital dash. Is that you? I want you to really picture that, envision it. Right? Really picture it.
Sheesh.
Right? Everybody put their arm out. Right? I want you to pretend like you're driving your brand new whip.
See. Yo.
I'm driving on the back.
Oh, period. Personal driver on deck.
On the count of 3, I want you to make the noise that your car makes when you rev the engine. 1, 2, 3.
I hate you, son.
Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down.
That's the book read. You know what I'm saying? I'll get the point. Listen, you got the picture, you got the vision. So you're wondering, Ray, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this. I'm unfocused. You gotta understand. Stop focusing on where you're at right now. Yes, where you at right now is probably getting discouraged. If you keep looking at the back office, guess what? You're staring all day. It's not gonna change just because you look at it. You could have did 10 phone calls today, and the back office didn't change. But if you close your eyes and see where you're going, right, I bet you're gonna continue to pick up the phone.
That's a
You know what I'm
fact.
saying? So that's one thing that you guys have to practice. That's my secret weapon. Whenever I get discouraged, because it's not that we don't get discouraged. Because here's the thing, right? We all experience the same things. You just have to ask yourself, are you at the mercy of your circumstances, right? Or is your circumstances at the mercy of you? It's two different environments, right? Life happens to you, or are you happening in life? You gotta understand, right? Every single problem that you've had or experienced in life, let me tell you, let you know a little secret, right? They're not new. You've been here before. You know what I'm saying? You've been here before. Right? Every problem that you've experienced, you've been here before. The thing is, right, it just keeps getting discouraged. It's going to be different every single time. Right? And that's what God's going to keep doing. He's going to keep testing you day in and day out. Here's the thing. You can't solve this problem. You know what God's going to do? You're going to wrap it up, make it look different, and give you the same issue again. Right?
OD.
The same issue again. Because, okay, you can't handle it this way, and we wrap it up and give it right back to you. Right? And you are oblivious to it, and you keep handling it the same way. Here's the thing, right? When you come into the business and you lose money trading and you get discouraged, it's not the first time that you tried something new and it didn't work out for you and you got discouraged. This happened maybe 10 years ago when you tried out for the basketball team, or you wanted to do piano lessons or whatever the case may be. The shit's not new. It's not the first time that somebody told you something, somebody told you the truth. Right? And even though they was telling you the truth, you were more worried about how they said it instead of what they said. It's not the first time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand it, right? And until you become self-aware and realize, okay, cool, the problems are the same, but I have to change. You gotta make a conscious effort, like, yo, I've been here before. It's almost like anytime that you get mad and you run into a roadblock, you gotta only remind yourself, like, yo, I've been here before. You know what I'm saying? Stop getting frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to get mad. Right? It's okay to get frustrated. That's natural, right? But the reaction, you control. And here's the thing, we gotta start focusing on the things that we can control. Right? Once you focus, you wanna know how to get rich? You gotta focus only on the things that you can control. But here's the thing. Right? When you focus on what you can't control, right, then like I said, your life is gonna be at the mercy of your circumstances. Right? You gotta focus on what you can control. Right? And if you do that 100% of the time, what happens is you start to manipulate the outcome. Right? So I can't log into my Chase Bank and start typing in whatever number I want for balance. I can't just edit it and say, well, I want it to say fucking $500 million. I can't do that. Right? I can't go into my bank account and do that. Right? I can't log into my rent portal and just make that number disappear because I typed it, right? That's full control. That's what you wish you had, right? You don't have that, right? But the things that you do have control over, like you picking up your phone, you putting in some work, right? You do have control over that. And you focus on that. Those circumstances, you start to manipulate. If I just work my butt off because that's what I have control over, all of a sudden I start to manipulate my bank account. Is it going to be the number that I want? No, but I'm shifting it in the direction that I want it to be in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what we got to focus on this year, right? Focusing on only what I can control, right? Now, the problem is always going to be you. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, right? You gotta apply the information even when it's not convenient for you. That's the thing. Everybody's a runner when it's convenient to be a runner, right? Everybody's a student when it's convenient to be a student. Bryce is not coming here, yes, convenient. You know what I'm saying? I've been in this shit 3 years, make a lot of money. Right? So yes, it's easy to listen to me. But what about listening to your mentor that's maybe the same rank as you, but got more experience than you? Right? Are you coachable there? What about listening to your mentor who's one rank above you? And yeah, I want to be a chairman, right? That's my goal. I want to mentor the P5 stuff. Does that mean I don't have to listen to him? right? You gotta do things even when it's not convenient for you. You guys have to start to understand it. All right, that's what separates, you know what I'm saying, the goods from the great, and the great from the excellent. You know what I'm saying? Is doing things when it's not convenient for you. You feel me? Are you plugging in? When it's convenient for you, or when it's not convenient for you. All right? Think about this. If you're on a schedule, let's say, you know what I'm saying, you're on the SBC, I'm taking you an example, it's a raw example. I'm on the SBC schedule, for example, right? And I'm on the call, you feel what I'm saying? So shit, I'm pushing out the schedule, the SBC schedule to everybody, because I'm on the call, right? But then the next day, right, there's the HFX Basics, and what's his face is hosting it. But my team, my leaders, they need some shine, you feel what I'm saying? They gotta get their reps in, right? You know what I might do? Right? You know what, I might say, you know what? I'm gonna do my own HFX training, right? Because I gotta do what's best for my business, right? So at that point, what you're doing is you're only doing shit when it's convenient for you, okay? You gotta do things even when it's not convenient for you. It's all about the collective. Everybody in here has to make a sacrifice for the greater good of SBC and for the greater good of Trade House. You guys gotta understand that. If you put your goals and what you want and your desires over the desires of the collective, right, you're never gonna win that one. Right? You're never gonna win that one. Right? And I've seen that before where people think, oh, I gotta do what's best for my business. Well, if you doing what's best for your business, right, hurt somebody else, right, then you only say it might work now. It might be good now, but the thing is, that same thing that you're doing is getting done to you. You gotta start to understand it. You feel the same?
Right.
And what it really comes down to is just, yo, anytime you get discouraged, you close your eyes, you see exactly where you're going. It's time to hustle, bro.
Straight
You know
up.
what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Stop making excuses and let's put ourselves in a position where everybody's self-reflective. Listen, you gotta focus on what you can control. The only thing you can have control over is you, your reaction to the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? So the next time you're on the phone with your mentor and you find yourself getting mad, take a step back and ask yourself, what's the purpose of this conversation? The purpose of the conversation between the mentor and the mentee is the mentor is giving the mentee insight on how to get to the next level.
That's
If
it.
that's not happening in that moment, you gotta ask yourself what's really going on. You feel what I'm saying? If your mentor tells you something, you say, yeah, but I think this is a good idea. Well, who the fuck are you, bro? You gotta understand. When Bryce talks to me, you gotta understand, I separate myself. Me and Bryce go way back. That's my man. When I'm talking to Bryce, I'm not talking to, you know what I'm saying, my friend that I pledged with. I'm not talking to my line, but I'm talking to Bryce that's 24 years old, and he's fucking making $1 million a month. You feel what I'm saying? That's the Bryce I'm talking to. Right? When you're talking to Jalen Dawes, you're not talking to Jalen from Chicago that plays capital. You're talking to somebody that's $100 grand a month in 13 months. Point blank period. That's who you're talking to. When you're talking to your mentor, you're not talking to your day one man. You're talking to somebody who's planning 5,000. Chairman loaded. You guys gotta start to, you know, have that understanding of what's really going on and things of that nature. You gotta focus on, just focus on you this year. You know what I'm saying? Focus on you becoming better. You feel me? Talk about humility. You gotta be humble. I'm telling you, the humblest guy drinks the most milk. You know what I'm saying? Not just about hard work, right? I've seen people, right, work less hard and make more money just because they were humble. And I've seen people work their ass off, right, and stay the same level, right? Or just hit the next one. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, you might level up, but you done fell short of what you're truly capable of. You understand what I'm saying? That's ultimately what it comes down to. You guys, you know, just focus up. And this year, it just comes down to, you know, really being real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like Bryce was saying, those wives, like I never for once came in and said, my wife, my mother. I came in like, I'm trying to flex. That's me. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be real with yourself. Right? Now, David Meaton, one thing that he said that really stuck out to me is that most people don't get success because they got told the truth, but they didn't accept it. Right? They got told the truth, but they didn't accept it. Right? Now, the truth is, right, you might be a bullshitter. Right? But you ain't like that when your mentor told you that. Right? The truth is, you only do things when it's convenient for you, right? The truth is, you might not know how to talk to people. It's time to really focus on us. I'm going to talk to you guys about self-awareness in a little bit, on how to really, you know, elevate and fly through this business, right? Now, a lot of times they teach you the self-awareness, but who really knows how to apply it, right? They tell you be self-aware, but what good is getting a concept if you don't know how to apply it? You know what I'm saying? What good is me telling you, yo, use your risk management if you don't know how to actually put pen to paper? Understand? So self-awareness, that's the concept. How do you apply it? It's called self-reflection. Okay? Now, we got to start to self-reflect. All right? Y'all can open your eyes too. But self, y'all can sit down too. Y'all can sit down.
Sorry, sir.
Look. Everybody breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hold up. When my hand go up, we're going to breathe in. When it goes down, we breathe out. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Now breathe out. That's the look. I want you guys to really focus up. Self-reflection. Right? You want to know why people be stuck? If you're not getting all that stuck shit, you're not doing that shit.
None of that.
This is how we do it. Right? Everybody say next level.
Next level.
Next level.
This is come down to cross self-reflection. Right? Every time you do something in this business, right? Every time you do something in this business, you have a phone call, right? You listen to your mentor, you get on the train. Anytime you do something, right? Immediately after, you have to spend some time looking back at what you just did, right? Looking back at what you just did. Now, here's the thing, right? If I have a conversation with Jalen, for example, right? And me and Jalen sit down on the couch and we watch the conversation on TV, who am I focused on? Focus on me, not focus on Jalen, because if I redo it, I can't get into Jalen's body and make him do what I want him to do. You understand? The only thing I can control is me and what I do. So you have to spend time self-reflecting so you can find flaws that you would have not seen in the first person. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So when I'm living it, I can't see it, right? But when I'm watching myself do it, it's completely different. Think about when you talk and you hear your voice. And then think about when you record your voice and you hear it. It sounds completely different, right? There's a reason behind it, you feel what I'm saying? Because now you're in the third person and not in the first person, right? You gotta have an outer body experience to see the shit that your mentor sees. You feel what I'm saying? Because if me and my listen, it's not my mentor versus me. It's me and my mentor together trying to figure out the flaws in me so I can get to the next level. You understand?
Yeah.
If people always make it seem like, like my mentor is attacking me, trying to live it. He's trying to help you, right? But he's pointing out things that you refuse to see. You gotta, and the people that level up the fastest, right? They're not fighting against their mentor. We're on the same team. You feel what I'm saying? It's almost like we're game planning. This is me, and you're pointing out the shit that's wrong with me, and I'm trying to, make those adjustments. So that's why you self-reflect. So you can find the things that your mentor is talking about. You feel me? So here's the thing. It's all about getting a little bit better each and every single day. The reason that people get stuck is because I called, what's your name? Naja. I called Naja, right? And me and Naja got into an argument. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, Naja must be hard-headed, right? So I'm going to call Naja again, right? Because I'm going to work. I'm going to keep working. So I'll call Naja again, and that's what happens this time. So me and her get into another argument. It's not working. You say, you want to know why it's not going to work? Because I'm not taking the time to self-reflect. You feel what I'm saying? If I take the time to self-reflect, I'm going to look at the conversation. Okay, cool. Right. Maybe the message wasn't there. Then I'm going to adjust the message. I talk to her again, it didn't work. Okay, look back. Maybe my tone, maybe I'm just a little bit too aggressive. I change my tone, talk to her again. Oh, maybe the tone was good and the message was good, but maybe I just need to listen to her instead of just cutting her off and just talking. I tried that, now it works. Make sense?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Every time you do something, you got to get a little bit better. A little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better until you solve the problem. Make sense?
Yeah.
And that's some people do it on purpose. Most people do it by accident. But once you start to do this shit on purpose, you're gonna find yourself getting over problems a lot faster just because you took the time to look back and self-reflect. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
You gotta spend. That's what I do. I spend a lot of my time looking back. Okay, cool. right? Let me look back at this conversation and figure out where I could have, did a little bit better. I'll give you an example. Let's say, Nasha, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say she joins my business, and in 30 days she goes inactive. You feel what I'm saying? Now, if she goes inactive, do I got control over that?
No.
Mike, she's already inactive. I can't change it. You feel what I'm saying? This is what most people do. She went inactive, I'm gonna say, you know what? Fuck her, you know what I'm saying? The next person that comes into my business, they're gonna do a lot better. I'm not about to lose no sleep over her. Okay? Now, here's the thing. At that point, nothing is changing, and what happens is you're almost gambling with your life. When you focus on what you can't control or focus on what other people are doing, you're shooting dice. You know what I'm saying? I'm gambling, right? If my success is predicated on the next person being a runner, or the next person being a shooter, or the next person being motivated or excited, right? I'm gambling, right? 10 people can sign up, and all 10 of them back to back to back to back to back, not want to win. You know what I'm saying? Or not be hustlers. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So instead of gambling, let me take charge and control of what I got control over. Yes, she went in that. But I'm going to look back and say, okay, cool. What could I have done better? Right? Well, with her, what I did, I added her to the signal set, and that was it. In the signal set, they dropped the training and they dropped the signal. So if she didn't get on, whose fault was it? It's her fault. It's still her fault. At this point, am I right or am I wrong? I'm still right. It's not about being right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's about trying to be a better version of you. And that's the thing. A lot of times we get so caught up in being right and wrong. It's not about being right and wrong. It's about being better. So yeah, even though she was in the signal set, even though they did drop the trainers, even though they did send the signals out, right? I'm going to look back and say, damn, well, what if I would have just called her and got in the signal with her? You know what I'm saying? Would things have been a little different? Now, can I go back and fix the situation with her?
No.
No. But the next person that comes along, guess what? I'm going to be a little bit what?
More aware.
A little bit better. You understand? So now when I get on the phone with the next person that's on my team, right? Because I focus on me and what I had to do, the things that I did in the past instead of her. Right now, the new norm is out. When you get in, when you come to my business, I call you and I'm gonna walk you through getting in the trade. So I made sure you got in that trade. And that means I made sure that the shit hit take profit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just because I did that, I got a little bit better. Understand? And that's kind of what you got to focus on in the business. Is focus on taking a step back and self-reflecting so that you can get a little bit better. From you keep doing that, and then a lot of the problems, a lot of the shit that y'all be having issues with, y'all gonna get over. A lot of the conversations where you feel like, yo, this person's hard, like, let's be real with it, bro. Everybody's trying to go check the 100, at least.
Right.
So you gotta think, if you're gonna build a massive org, do you think that everybody in your team is gonna be like you?
No.
No. Actually, here's the facts. The majority of people are not gonna be like you. They're not. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't learn how to deal with every single type of person that there is, you feel what I'm saying? You're forever gonna be like, well, this person's a runner and those people aren't. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta understand it, right? So that's why you self-reflect, so you can try to fine tune and fix how you talk to people and have these different conversations. You feel what I'm saying? Because if I have the same approach with everybody, right, I'm gonna have limited results. You feel what I'm saying? If the only type of people that can win is people like me, then it's just not duplicated at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Truly, something being truly duplicatable means anybody that comes in and applies it can get success. Make sense?
Yes.
That's what you gotta focus on. You gotta always take the time to look back at what you're doing. You feel what I'm saying? It's just self-awareness, right? Like I said, if you find yourself stuck, right, you gotta take a step back. You feel what I'm saying? If you find yourself upset, like, yo, what am I doing? Like, really ask yourself. I do this shit all day long. What am I really doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I might be talking to Bryce and I may not agree with what he's saying, but then I ask myself, what am I really doing? Yo, even if what he's saying doesn't make sense, you feel what I'm saying? It don't matter. You feel me? You gotta understand. It's not about what makes sense to you because you gotta understand that Bryce is a millionaire. You feel what I'm saying? It's a multi-millionaire. So there's certain things that he's gonna say that I'm not gonna understand because my non-multi-millionaire brain can't fucking comprehend this. Makes sense? Some things that Jayla's gonna say that your non-six-figure brain, no offense, can't get right now. You feel what I'm saying? That don't mean reject it. That means accept it. Make sense?
Yeah.
So if you don't get it, so what? You know what I'm saying? You just gotta, you know what I'm saying, accept it. That's what ultimately comes down to. A lot of times, we only do things when it makes sense to us. It's like, yo, bro, what makes sense to you is not millionaire shit if you're not money. You understand? And most of the time, people, you don't get offended and whatnot. They think somebody's trying to be hard, you know. It's just the reality. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what you guys gotta understand. You feel what I'm saying? All right. Once you start to move in that way, a lot of things are gonna start to make a lot more sense to you. But when you get the information, you apply it. You gotta listen. Take the information and apply it, whether it makes sense to you or whether you agree with it or not. You cannot. I'm gonna mean by doing it what's convenient. You can't pick and choose what you want to plug into. You can't pick and choose what part of the blueprint you want to use. You feel what I'm saying? Because you think it makes sense to you or it might work to you. You feel what I'm saying? Shit has to be 100% duplicatable, and you got to be aware of the things that you do, because everything that you reap what you sow. You feel me? Listen, raise your hand if you get upset when you give somebody a game and they don't listen. Right? We all have that one person on the team that, yo, we speak gems and he's just not doing shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to get mad. I used to really talk to people and used to be like, yo, why is he not doing this shit? You know what I'm saying? But he's really not doing it because I'm not doing it. Right? People, you give them an inch and they take them out. You know what I'm saying? Give them an inch and they take them out. Let me give you an example. Let's say, right? Let's say I'm in here down. I'm in here down right? Me and her getting into an argument. Right? I say, you know, fuck you. I'm about to take my group chat and I'm about to go over here. I'm about to do our own shit over here. You know what I'm saying? And I just click the group chat. Make sense? You got everybody here trying to see me before. Somebody said, okay, cool, I'm about to dip over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, when I did that, you think shit's sweet, right? But then later on down the line, what happens? Somebody does that to you. Because the message you gave the people is this.
That's okay.
At the end of the day, I gotta do what's best for my business. And if that means leaving her team, then that's so be it. Right? You literally gave everybody in your org the green light. You planted the seed for future destruction. You feel what I'm saying? And you guys gotta be aware of that, because a lot of things that you're going through in your business, you don't realize that. You might not be doing it now, but you did that shit before. You feel me? You may not be doing it right now, but you did it before. You feel me? Give somebody an inch, they take them out. You feel what I'm saying? All you did was make your own group chat. You probably still sending out the SBC signal, still sending out the schedule. All you did was make your own group chat. Now you got somebody on your team that not only did they make their own group chat, they got their own schedule, they got their own signals, they got their own flyers, they got their own everything. And you sitting there confused. It making sense? Because you planted that seed. You have to lead by example. You have to understand, right, that people aren't mature enough to say, well, he's my mentor and whatnot, and he's doing that, so I gotta do this. Right? You have to lead by example and make the sacrifices so that people can win. Right? You wanna know why Bryce is the humblest I can be? You gotta understand. You make the most money in this shit. You know what I'm saying? The richer he got all costs like $300,000, and he wouldn't even mention it to you. You wanna know why? Because yeah, he can do it. He can afford this shit on him. Right? But here's the thing, if he does it, that's gonna give everybody the green light down the line to do what? The exact same thing. You understand what I'm saying? And you gotta think about it. You think a P150, right, is gonna get anywhere by sitting on somebody? No, exactly. That's why he makes that sacrifice, so that everybody can win. You guys gotta understand that this money that you're trying to work towards, it comes with a responsibility. You understand? It comes with responsibility. It's not just, oh, well, I'm about to be chairman of 100, and you know, just pop my shit. If it was that simple, it's not how it works. So you gotta understand, like I said, the money comes with a specific responsibility, right? And if you're not ready for the responsibility, it will get taken from you. You understand? That's ultimately what it comes down to, right? The money will get taken from you, so you gotta live up to the responsibility, right? You gotta lead by example. Anything that you want your team to, it's the basic principle of life. Is you treat others how you want to be treated. You treat others how you want to be treated. It's a basic life principle. You know what I'm saying? That one principle will literally make you $1 million. You treat others how you want to be treated. You wouldn't want somebody to make their own group chat on you. You don't do that to somebody else. You wouldn't want somebody to sit behind your back. You would want somebody else. Another thing, right? As leaders, sometimes, right, we're enablers. You feel what I'm saying? So you may not be actively participating in the fuckery and whatnot, but you might be enabling it. So for example, let's say Jalen calls me, right? And Jalen says, Who's in the room?